Доброго дня, про ситуацію у зоні.
Now, information about ATO zone, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesman on ATO-related issues, Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk. Good afternoon, everyone. Now, information about the main events that happened in the ATO zone yesterday. Yesterday, the situation in the ATO zone remains tense. Despite agreements reached on ceasefire, the militants delivered fire with the use of heavy weapons at ATO forces, and Ukrainian forces were forced to return fire in case of grave violations by the enemy. Now, information about sectors. The Lugansk sector, yesterday, the majority of shellings delivered by the enemy were short-term, and at night the militants opened fire in Krymsk with the use of 125mm artillery, and after 6 p.m. they started to use mortars. And one instance of ceasefire violation happened in Stanitsa-Lugansk and one in Shestya, where Russian occupation forces respectively used small arms and grenade launchers. On the whole, during last 24 hours in the Lugansk sector, there were 4 shellings delivered by the enemy. The Donetsk sector, between midnight and 2 a.m., militants actively delivered fire at Lugansk, using grenade launchers, weaponry of APCs, and mortars. Ukrainian forces had to return fire. And after 4 a.m., the militants used small arms at Shakhta-Butivka position, and then it was come along the front line in the sector, and at 8 p.m. military actions restarted in Avdiivka and in the region of the Donetsk airport. There the militants delivered one short mortar shelling in Avdiivka and Pisky. Moreover, the enemy repeatedly used small arms. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Donetsk sector, there were 13 shellings delivered by Russian occupation forces, 3 with the use of mortars. And Mariupol sector, here the situation yesterday was tense. Number of shells launched by the enemy exceeded 100. At 6 in the morning, the occupants delivered fire with the use of tanks and launched 10 projectiles at the positions of armed forces in the region of Krasnogorivka. And from 8 till 9:30 in the morning, the enemy heavily shelled Vodene, and then they launched 60 mines at Ukrainian positions, and 6 p.m. they delivered mortar shelling, and Shirokina they delivered short artillery shelling, and Gnutovo mortar shelling. And late in the evening, the enemy delivered fire with the use of grenade launcher to Lebedinska. On the whole, in the Mariupol sector, yesterday there were 8 shellings delivered by the enemy. In 5 cases, the enemy used heavy weapons. And during the last 24 hours, as a result of the military actions, unfortunately, 2 servicemen died. It happened in the region of Pisky because of mine explosion, and 3 servicemen were wounded and traumatized. Our hearts go out to the relative of the serviceman who died. And in Alexandria, in the ranks of National Guard, they have training for paratroopers. They will improve their theoretical knowledge and will improve the use of different type of parachuting, including parachute-less systems like adapter M system that is used for evacuation. And in Kharkivshina and Kirovgradshina, they continue training for those who are liable for military service. And recently they had the main stage of training. They were trained in firing, technical and engineering and SAPER training, and military topography. They improved their knowledge with the use of different type of weapons weaponry, and they improve their firing skills, and also they complete exercises with the use of small arms, and also they improve their knowledge of military topography and engineering. Thank you.